What's up, everyone? Welcome to our next video in our dotCMS Headless playlist. So the stage is all set. In the previous video, we already brought our title, which is coming from dotCMS instance, but we have to bring a lot more for mapping this content type right over here, which is our hero section. We need our designations, we need our this typewriter thing, we need our description, resume, and as well as our introductory video as well. So without wasting our time, let's go change our content schema. But before that, let's roll the intro. So let's go and design our, I would say, a lot of fields which will be coming from our dotCMS for this content type right over here. Okay. So all you have to do is to just come to your content types. You can see in my dotCMS instance, I'm already at my hero section right over here. Now I like to create my form similar to the layout of the content type which I'm targeting. So since you can see this layout right over here is a single row having two columns, one is on the left and one is on the right. And I will go with a similar approach for creating my, I would say, content type fields right over here. Okay, so let's go on selecting like add row. In the previous video, we were having our title field which you created, but I have deleted that because I will be, going right from scratch. Okay. So I will be going with add row, then we'll be having two columns and we'll be having on one column on left and one column on right. And we all know that on our right side, we need our image and these two tags. So I will just go over there first. So let's find our image one. Let's drop it right over here and I will call it as like my image. And then I will keep it required for now and let's save this thing. And then I will be having our, let me find what we need. So we need these two tags. So I will drop two text areas, this one right over here and I will call it as like hashtag, let me call it like hashtag one like this. This is also required. Let's share this thing. And similar to this one, I will be also dropping another text field, which will be my hashtag. And this should be this time 02. And it's required. And let's save this as well. So I think for our right side, we are good to go because we'll be having our image and two tags. But for the left side, we need a lot more. Okay. So for our left side, the very first thing we need is these two things right over here, which are our badges. Number one is telling that whether we are available for our projects or not. For this, I will be using a select drop down, but you can use whatever you like. But I will drop the select one and I will call it like is open for work. And then the values, if you just hover over here, it tells you how you could provide your value. So it is like text and then the value, right? So text is what which appears on the UI and value is what you actually get on the code level, right? So I will call it as like open and then I will call it like open in small letters. Then I will call it like close and then it will be closed right over here. CLOSE, if I can spell that right. And I think we're good to go. And this is also required. The default value can be, I would say, close for now, but we can maybe choose like open if you want, but I will go with the default as close. Okay. So let's save this stuff and we have our select ready. Now, once we have done that, we need this badge right over here, which is saying devrel@dotCMS, which is showing your current position. So I will just drop maybe a text field for showing that. And this will be our maybe like current designation, or maybe I would like it called like current title. Okay, and then I will also keep this as required and let's save this stuff and we're good to go. Now we need our this title as well. So let me just drop this one with our title thing. So I will call it as like title and this is also required and let's save this as well. Now let's go. We need our this designation 1 and designation 2 as well. So I will drop another text field, maybe calling it as like designation tag 1, maybe like this, and let's keep it as required as well. And then I might need designation tag 2, so let's go and drop designation tag and this time it will be 02 and I will keep it as required and let's save this. I think we're good to go. We are having these stuff ready. And now this is what we will be doing something different over here, because at this point, if you come to my coding section in my terminal right over here, and if you just go to my maybe like hero card section right over here, let me find that one. And if we come over here and let's go to our typewriter component, this one right over here, you can see that these are somewhat like an array which will be having multiple strings. You can do that. You have to design somewhat schema similar to this one, but I will be doing some smart work over here. What I will be doing is I will just draw a text field over here, and this time I will call these as my roles. And what I will be doing is I will be just keeping it at like text, but I will use some valid regular expression. For all you know, if you just hover to online, you can know that regular expression is somewhat a pattern in which helps you to validate a certain pattern of string. And what I need to do is I need to just provide this pattern right over here, which I generated from my AI stuff. And all this pattern do is to just validate that your string should be comma separated and it should only contain alphabets. It cannot contain any other specific special characters. So this is what this does. And for our hint, I will just maybe like call it as like software engineer and then comma, maybe like developer and maybe like comma, maybe like I would call it as like DevOps. So this is just for giving hints to our content authors that what type of values you should provide in this role section right over here. And I will do this as required. And once you save this, you are good to go. So that is one smart way of designing the schema for your .cms instance, depending on your content type. Okay. And then we're having our description. So description is quite well. We're dropping a text area, calling it as like my description. So this is my description right over here. And I will keep this as also required and save the stuff. And once that is done, all we need is our resume and our introductory video. So for that, just come over here. And for our image, I will be dropping my image right over here. Sorry, not the image, but I will be dropping my file right over here. Let me find that one where that is. So yeah, right over here. Let me just drop this. So this will be our resume. This is also required. Let's save the stuff. And then we will be having our introductory video. So that is also a file right over here. And I will call it as like my intro video right over here, and that is also required. And let's save the stuff. And that is how you design your schema in .cms according to your content type you are targeting. Okay. And now if you just, if you have your, I would say, content type ready, all you have to do is to just come to your content section, just go to HeroSection right over here. And now if you just click on new and add new content, you will get this form, which is similar to the layout right over here. So you can just select whether you want our open to work is open or closed. Then you add current title, designation tag 1, 2. Then you will be having your roles. And the good part is if you just over here, it will show you that what type of data this expects. Maybe I can zoom in on this part as well. And then you will be having your description. Then you will be having your resume video, your resume file. Then you will be having your introductory video. And then you will be having your image and then hashtag 1 and hashtag 2. And this is how you map your content type. So once you have done that part, all you have to do is to just make your code changes, accepting these props in your that hero card React component. And once you do that, you are good to go. So without wasting our time, let's jump to our coding section. Okay, so now all you have to do is to just come back to your schema, into your content types, and into your hero section, and just use all these variable names and design your props structure for the React component, which is rendering this content type, which is our hero section, right? So let's go to our terminal right over here. Let's find our that hero section right over here, and let's go to top. Let's come forward, and now you can see in previous video we were having this interface, which is, I would say, the structure of our props coming from .cms, but it will change because this time it will be having a lot more, which is coming from .cms. So what I have done is, for the sake of simplicity, I have already created the interface for the current props. Let me just copy that one over here. Let's come over here and paste it right over here. Now this is what my interface looks like. Let me not delete the previous stuff. And now we're good to go. So we will be having our is open for work, which will be in a state of open or closed. Then we'll be having our current title, designation tag 1, 2, our roles, our description, and rest of the things right over here. And I've already picked my variable names right from here. So next step is coming into our component right over here, and let me just destructure the structure we are having. So let me just copy that stuff as well so that we could save our time. And let's come over here, and I will just paste the stuff over here, and let me just move this one, and let's format the stuff. And right now we are good to go. And you can see we were already using our title, but this is the time to go and use the rest of the stuff which we have designed in our .cms. Okay, so now let's go and use this data which is coming from .cms into this component. So that will be our fun part. So let's just go scroll down, and over here, these are just the tags, which is the top one. So if you just come to my browser and to our site, these are these tags right over here, which we are talking about. So what I will be doing is I will just wrap this span right over here with my curly brackets, and I will call it like this, open for work. And then I will be using my and operator. Let me find that one. And then I will just cut this from here. Let me just remove this, and I will just cut this from here, and inside this I will just come over here and paste it right over here. Now this looks good to me, and let me just remove these things because we don't need these. And once that is done, the tag will only be displayed when our is open to work will be true. And then we're having this one, which is our that if I'm not wrong, this is the attribute, which is our current title, if I'm not wrong. So I will just come over here, and then I will just remove these, and I will just go with my current title right over here. And once that is done, we have already mapped our titles. We are good to go with that part. But over here, we are having our this dev relation engineer and technical lead. If I'm not wrong, these are our our designation 1 and designation 2. So let me just remove this one. Come over here, open the curly bracket. So this will be my designation tag 1, and this will be my designation tag 2. Let's save this, and we're good to go. Now come over here. Let me just find this one. So this will be our, I would say, description. So let's come over here, delete the rest of the stuff. Just delete this, and over here I will just call it as like my description right over here. Let's save this. We are good to go. And now this is where I will be linking my file, which will be my resume, and then I need my intro video right over here. But before mapping this, let's go and map the rest of the stuff, which is quite easy because we have to do some work over here. And now let me just scroll down and find our image right over here. This will be our image. For this, what I will be doing is I will just remove everything which is inside my quotes, open my curly brackets, and then I am already having my image loader function, which is available right over here. So let me find that one. So we just open my file explorer. If you go into my results directory over here, you will be having this image loader function, which only takes your source, which will be your image identifier, the ID of the image, and then you provide your width, and it will go and fetch the image from dotCMS. So that's how simple it is. So let me just clap this. I'll just come over here, provide the source. In this case, it will be image and then dot identifier. And then for width, I will just go with maybe like 700 over here. And once that is done, my image is good to go. Let me just scroll down and see if there are anything left. So these are just the tags which are placed on the image. So this is these tags right over here. So we already have those. Let me just delete this, come over here. This will be my hashtag 1. And then let me scroll down and let me just delete this stuff. This will be curly brackets, and it will be called like hashtag 02. And let's save the stuff. So we have almost mapped all the things, but let's go back and let's see what is quite left there. So the only thing left right over here is our roles, our resume, as well as our intro video. So let's start mapping our roles, and this will be quite simple. All we have to do is to just come over here into our typewriter component. Let's go over there, and I will just comment these roles because we don't want these. Let's comment it out, and now it will start complaining, but I will come over here and I will call them as like roles, which will be of I would say, let me just map that out, and this will be curly bracket roles, and this will be of type string array right over here. Not this one, not this one, but it will be of type an array. Now all how you have to do is to just, rather calling roles like this, you can call roles like this and this, right? And once that is done, we are good to go for my typewriter component, because now this is taking the roles which will be coming from our dotSims instance. So that's the reason I am passing my roles as prop. Now you can go back to your component. Now this will take your prop as roles. And over here, all we have to do is to just call our roles and then split it with the separator, which will, in our case, will be comma right over here, and we are good to go. So that's how simple it is to map the roles coming from your dotSims instance. And now if we just come to the props and let's see what is left. So all left is our resume and our introductory video. So for that, we might be writing a function which will be similar to our image loader, but this time the function, rather calling it like image loader, that will be our file loader function. Let me come over here, call it as like file loader, and this time I will call it like .ts, and let me just paste the code, which will be quite simple. Let me find that code over here, and let me just paste it right over here. So this is like a file loader function, which will just take your base URL on which your .cms host is running. It will just append your /da because that's the root where your assets are kept in .cms, and then it will append the ID which you will pass inside this. And that's how you can load the files which will be served via .cms. Now, once your that function is ready, let's come back, and over here inside your resume, let me just scroll down. Over here, instead of calling href, what I can do is I can just remove all that stuff. And over here, we can call the file loader function. And then we can pass our ID. In our case, that will be resume.identifier. And we are good to go. And now I just want to add one thing over here, which will be our, I would say, target. And this will be underscore blank because I want my users to visit my resume on a separate tab rather, navigating my own tab or on site to that resume. Okay, I want the resume to be opened in the new tab, and we're good to go over here. And now let's come to our this video right over here, which says play our video. And I think we need a couple of things over here, so let's go back to our vibe coded side and let's see how this stuff is being handled over there. So now let me just go to my web coded site, which is running on my port 3001. Let me just quit my terminal and let's open our app.tsx, which is the place where all the content is living right over here. And if you just somehow come to my hero section right over here, you can see, if you can see right over here, there is a prop being passed that said it is video open. And if we just come to the point where I'm just using that state, right over here, you can see that on click, we are having a state, which is I'm just marking that set video open to true. And that is being passed from our parent component, which is this one right over here. And now once that is true, if we just come over here, you can see that we are having a separate video modal component right over here, by which we are just passing the state. And when the states get true, the video modal gets open, right? So let's go to over our video modal. And what I will be doing is, for saving our time, let me just copy all the stuff from here. And I will just copy each and everything and just paste it into our Next.js app right over here. So just come over here. I will just create a new component right over here, which will be our video modal right over here, and I will call it as like .tsx and just paste the stuff right over here. And once that is done, let me just check my diagnosis. I'm not having any exceptions, so we are good to go. But rather right over here, what we'll be doing is we'll be just passing our set is video open state right over here, and then we'll be having our original state. And once that is done, we will also be providing one extra attribute right over here, which will be our URL to our video right over here. So we just come over here. This is the place where we'll be providing our video source. So this will be something coming from our parent component. So what I will be doing is I will just create a new one. I will call it like video source, and then this will be of type string. And then all we have to do is to just come over here. I will just call it as like my video source. And if I'm not wrong, all we have to do is to just map this, right? So let me just come one step forward. And over here, let me just delete everything inside the course. Let's remove this. And this will, this time I will call it as like video source. And I guess we are good to go. Now, all we have to do is to just come into our header section right over here. Not this one, sorry, our hero section, if I'm not wrong. And let's keep a state right over here. And that state will be the same one which is available in our vibe coded site. So let me go over there. Let's find that state. So that is this one. Let me just copy it from here and just come into our hero section. And inside this, I will just paste the state right over here. And once that is done, let's just import our use state from our React. And once that is done, I think this time now this component, rather using rather it's calling it like server side, it should be now client side. So I will just come over here inside double quotes. I will call it like use client right over here. And I think we are good to go. And now what we can do is we can just come over here in our video button and over here in on click, we can say set is video open to true. And then if I'm not wrong, all we have to do is to just place our video modal inside this component right over here, inside here. So let me just pick that one. So that looks something like this. Let me just copy it, come over here and paste it right over here. And this will be imported from the same directory right over here. And we are missing our video source. So that will be something like this. And let me map that to our intro video, and this time not intro video, but it should be like our file loader function. And once that file loader function, we have to pass the id, which in our case will be our intro video dot identifier, and this will automatically produce our url where our video intro file will be served from .cms. And that's all you have to do in our coding section right over here. Now once you have done that, this is the time, I would say, the moment of the truth. So now let's come to your Chrome, and over here, before creating your first contentlet of this HeroSection type, you have to upload your assets. And for that, all you have to come to your content and in your content drive, and then you have to click add new, and then you have to upload your asset, which will be my PDF, resume, and my image. Now, for the sake of saving time, I've already done that. I've uploaded my resume right over here. I've uploaded my intro video, which is just a one random video, and I've also uploaded my image. And all these three assets have been published right over here. And this is super important right over here. Once you upload your asset, that might asset will be in draft mode. But before using that asset in your contentlet, you have to publish that asset by clicking over here, and then you can just click on publish. Now, once that is done, all you have to do is to come to your content section into your hero section. And for the sake of time saving, I have already created one contentlet of hero section type right over here, which is saying is open for work is open. Current title right over here, title, and then designation 1 and 2. Then I'm having my comma separated roles, our description. I've uploaded my resume, our intro video, our image, and our hashtags right over here. And I've published this thing right over here. And once that is published, the moment of truth, if you come to your pages and inside your home page right over here, you can see this looks a lot more gibberish because we are not using the right contentlet. So let me just remove this section right over here. And now what we can do is you can see that it says this container is empty. So let's go hero section and select our this component right over here and just drag and drop it right over here. And once you drop this, you can see your content being rendered right over here. Now let's publish this stuff. And once you publish this inside your UEE, and now if you just come to your Next.js app and refresh your stuff, this is the way I would say all the data which is coming from your dotCMS backend. Your this thing right over here, your image, your hashtags, and each and everything. And now if you just click on download resume, this will go and help you to download your resume as well. And if you just click on watch intro video, this will go and open up your intro video as well. And that is how you create your very first content type headlessly rendered via dotCMS. And this looks a lot more cooler. And now just before moving on, you can see right now you can just update the content in dotCMS and it will automatically be reflected on your front end. Now just come over here. Let's say if you just go into your content and into your hero section and just select the one right over here, and let's say is open for work, and let's say I want to close this because I'm not open for work. And if you just publish this right over here, this will go and make the changes on your front end right over here. Now just if you refresh this thing, okay, so this is not taking effect because we might have done something wrong in our coding section. So let's go over here. Let me just scroll down. Okay, so this should be is open for work equals to, and this should be open right over here. Now, if you just refresh this, you can see right over here, now our that tag is gone. And if you just go back and just edit this, and let's say your open is work is open, and if you just publish this stuff, and once that is published, let me just close the dialog and refresh this right over here, you can see our tag is being shown. And that is how you headlessly render your content coming from .cms. So there will be a lot coming in our, I would say, this playlist. So in our future section, we will go and might be designing our this section right over here. So stay tuned and watch for the next video. So that's all from this video. See you in the next video, and thanks for watching.